So for this Valentine's Day, I wanted to come up with a cake that was not cheesy and super memorable, something that would set this Valentine's Day apart from all the others. So I came up with this geometric and gold cake, and I hope you love it. I started by printing out this image from the internet. I just googled modern Valentine's Day heart. I then cut along the outside edges. Next, I'm going to place my template right on top of my 8-inch round cake and cut all the way around, leaving just a little bit extra on each side so it's slightly larger than my template. I then cut out my cake board to match my heart and put a layer of buttercream down. I stacked my cakes with a layer of buttercream in between, and then finished with a layer of buttercream all the way outside and on top, and tried to make it flat. When you see the finished product, you might think this cake is intimidating, but really it's not that bad, I promise. One of the keys, and this is something I found out, of course, making the cake, was that you should just cut the cake a little bigger than your template. And then when you get it all iced on the outside, you should put your template back on, cut it, and then lightly ice back around again. That's going to make it nice and perfectly shaped for when you go to put your triangles together. I then took my template and cut out a square consisting of 4 triangles. For this next part, I started out with some fondant and I added some Tylose to it. I also had some cornstarch to keep things from sticking. I then rolled it out with my pasta machine and carefully cut squares using my square cutter. Unfortunately, I didn't have the right size square cutter, so I had to then cut these squares down to the right size using a knife and my template. I then took these squares, made sure they were nice and straight, and cut them into perfect triangles, 4 to each square. I'm going to recommend that you make more triangles than you're going to need because it's easy to mess them up, miscut them, or deform them while handling. I'm going to recommend that you have 24 white ones and 32 of each of the pink colors. Of course, you'll want to store your triangles in plastic in between working with them. I found that the heart was just a little too short for my cake, so I ended up rolling out some fondant and adding just a thin layer on top to make sure it came up to just the right height, so that when I put a square on the side, it was right up to the edge of the top. I then painted my white triangles with gold luster dust that's been soaked in lemon oil. And then I just simply assembled the triangles according to the template I printed from the internet. I added my gold pieces in last, just in case that dust got off onto the other pieces while trying to figure out my pattern. Finally, I put some water on a paintbrush and I stuck them down. For the sides, I carefully applied each square. Things didn't match up quite as easily on the sides as they did on top, but I was able to bring it all together with just a little trimming here and there. Especially on the very side of the heart, you'll see I had to make a little strip to fit in between the 2 triangles to fill that space. Here we have it, the finished Valentine's Day cake. It's heart-shaped but not cheesy. It's modern but not cold. I hope you love making yours as much as I loved making mine.